What you like? I'll have to pull it on the camera.
Test. Test.
Sounds great.
Ready? Afternoon, I'm Lieutenant Spencer with the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. Today I'm joined by members of the Tomball Police Department, Lieutenant Potan and some of his staff. We'll be discussing the pending investigation and charges against the murder suspect today, identified as Christopher Julian. This time I'm going to turn it over to Lieutenant Potan so he can discuss some of the details.
Yesterday, around 11 a.m., we received a 911 call of a female victim being chased by her boyfriend at the intersection of South Pine Street and Market in Tomball. The suspect discharged numerous rounds at the vehicle she was driving in. That's when we received the call. We came out, met with the victim, talked to her. We started pinging his cell phone in the area. We searched for him for 3.5 hours, came up empty-handed. And then the investigation kind of took a turn, and I'm gonna turn it back over real quick to Lieutenant Scott.
Thank you. As you may be aware from this morning's press conference and details that were released, at about 11:15 p.m. yesterday, the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office was dispatched to the 33,000 block of Kinley Ann Court in Magnolia, Texas, in reference to a shooting. When deputies arrived on scene, they entered the residence and found a deceased white male just inside the residence of the house. The deceased was identified as a family friend of the suspect. What we had learned from that incident was that the suspect had gotten to a confrontation with the deceased, went out to the car, retrieved a firearm, came back in the residence, and shot the victim multiple times before fleeing the residence. Detectives were able to identify the vehicle that he was in, which obviously matches the same vehicle that Tomball PD had, which is described as a 2012 Nissan Versa. We were able to confirm that it is a Versa, and the Texas license plate of the vehicle is MPT 5747. MPT 5747. At this time, we have information that leads us to believe that the suspect is still in the area. So we're seeking the public's help and our media partners' help in putting out the information to try to locate the suspect. He is considered armed and dangerous. So anybody that has any information on his whereabouts is urged to contact law enforcement and not to try to apprehend or speak to the individual, but to contact law enforcement immediately. Any other questions?
The suspect you're looking for having prior records?
Yes, he does. Let me add to it real quick. Yesterday at about 4:30 p.m., we filed a warrant with Harris County for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon on this individual. So therefore, that's how we're working with Montgomery County also, because they have just filed a case on him too for, I'm gonna let Scott talk about it here in just a second.
Good point. Well, we just secured a warrant for murder with no bond against the suspect. So that is currently an active warrant out for his arrest through us, and obviously the one through Tomball Police Department for their aggravated assault.
What area does he live in? Does he live in Tomball, or you know?
He has a Cypress address, so yes. Any other questions?
Is it, you guys just, you know, it's gonna escalate, right? As it committed these assaults, committed the shooting and so on, so you just feel it's really a danger for the public?
Well, that's correct. Based on what we talked to, our detectives have talked to numerous witnesses now that his, he's obviously escalated now from an aggravated assault now to a murder, but his mental capacity he seems to be completely incoherent, paranoia, manic, is basically the people that know him the best that have had encounters with him in the last 24 hours has said that it seems his mental status is maybe deteriorating. So this time we're not only concerned for him, but we're concerned for the public and anybody else that has contact with him. So we're urging anybody that has any whereabouts where he may be to please contact local law enforcement.
Does he have any family? Do you think he might be headed back home or something?
He has family, and detectives are talking with them. At this time, we have no idea where he is, so we're seeking help in locating him.
Is there any idea yet? Have you heard anything from Harris County with any tie into the shooting last night over there off of 2920 in Dowdale, the drive-by shooting where the 16-year-old was shot?
At this time, we have not heard anything on that. I was contacted last night, but at this time, we cannot confirm any involvement.
Any other questions?
What kind of firearm was he using?
At this time, we could say it's a pistol.
And how many shots did he,
It was estimated at least 6 shots.
Now, Tomball, was it just driving down the street shooting it, or just openly shooting, or was it, he was standing there? What was the deal on Tomball?
Yes, sir. He was driving down the street while he was shooting from the moving vehicle. 2 to 3 shots is what we were looking at. So this happened a block away, right outside the front doors of the courthouse / city hall there. At this time, that's all we got to go off of right now.
Sorry, did you explain he shot his friend, or he knew the guy who he shot?
Yeah, it's a high school friend, high school friend of his by the name of, sorry, I'm looking for the name here, Schmitt. So he came to the house to see Samuel Schmitt, that was his first name. He came to the residence to visit with his friend. He knows him very well, has known him since high school, has known him for over 10 years. He comes to the house every few weeks. While he was there talking to Mr. Schmitt at the residence, for unknown reasons, he went outside. That's when they believe he retrieved the firearm, came back into the residence, and immediately discharged the firearm.
Any of Mr. Schmidt's family, I mean, they were present at the time, any of them injured or anything?
No, none of them were injured. Obviously, they're extremely distraught and shook up now, and our thoughts and prayers are with them.
You feel the suspects in the Montgomery County area?
We don't know. We know he has ties, obviously, through friends up here, but he has family in the greater Houston area, and all those leads and all those known addresses are being explored and checked by detectives and law enforcement across the agency. Any other questions? All right, we thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Paul, A-T-I-N.
One more time, sir?
P as in Paul, A-T-I-N.
Just for the record, so you get everybody's name one more time.
Scott Spencer, S-C-O-T-T, S-P-N-C-E-R, Lieutenant.
Lieutenant Brandon Potan, Tomball Police Department, P-A-T-I-N.
Jimmy Harrell,
Chris Burns, Tomball Police Department.
You're asking anybody with it, call Tomball, you said Tomball PD or Montgomery County Sheriff's?
Either or.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There should be, yes. Okay, all right.